Hello, everyone, and welcome to Insider Gaming Weekly, a video game podcast. It is April 11th, 2025. I'm your host, Mike Straw, joined, as always, by my co-senior editor, Grant Taylor Hill. And this week, we're joined for the full episode by the Gong Lord himself, Tom Henderson, because Albert increased his rate by 84%, so we decided to outsource it to somewhere else to save us some money. Guys, how you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm good. You know what I realized? I was watching some old school WWE the other day, and I realized we called him the Gong Lord, but the sound that we play is a bell. Why are we not calling him the Bell Lord or something?
Well, that's a completely different phrase and name, right? Like,
if you're English,
the Bell Lord.
Yeah,
Gong Lord sounds funny. That's really what it comes down to.
It's a debate for another day.
Tom, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's been a pretty busy week. Not really played any games. I know that's usually the next segment, so I'm just going to get ahead and say that I haven't played anything. I just don't have the time, which is a pretty bad thing to have, is lack of time. So, but yeah, I'm doing good. All's well in the Henderson household.
See, but that's why you just need to stay up late, never sleep, so you can at least play some games. That way you're fully prepared for what everybody wants to talk about. But before we get into that, a reminder, you can listen to this show wherever you get your podcasts, whether it be Apple, Pocket Casts, or Amazon Music or Spotify. If you want to watch us, we're on YouTube, youtube.com/insidergaming. We also have the video on Spotify, which I still don't think people use. I really don't think.
That's how I consume it. I watch it with the video one, so I can see the whole shebang. You know,
within Spotify?
Yeah, absolutely within Spotify. That's how I do it, man.
See, for me, I'm still trained where Spotify is audio only. So if it's got a video, chances are
you know what? Yeah, I have it on all the time. If I'm listening to a song and it has a video variant on there, I'm watching it with the video too, because some music videos are crazy good, especially the old ones. Like, I love old Linkin Park videos and stuff, man.
My favorite music video was Amish Paradise by Weird Al.
What a guy.
Great. I'm seeing him for the first time in concert in 3 months, and I can't wait. It'll be my kid. As long as he wants to go, it'll be my kid's first concert. And I can't think of anything better than a first concert for a 7-year-old being Weird Al, who's in his mid-60s at this point.
Makes it even more weird, right?
Exactly. It's weirder Al.
Weirder Al.
Weirder Al and his son, Weirdest Al. I don't know. All right, off the rails already. You can also subscribe to the Insider Gaming newsletter, where every Tuesday you get a roundup of the latest news that you need to know, an exclusive column, the upcoming releases, the top stories from the week in esports. Join the 50,000 plus who subscribe for it each and every week at insider-gaming.com/subscribe. With that out of the way, it's time to get in, and I'll go right to you, Grant, since we already know Tom's answer. Not much of anything. Grant, what have you been playing? What's new? Anything fun?
Oh, no, nothing new, but actually nothing fun either, because it's punishing, right? For me, in the last week, I've just been dipping in and out of Escape from Tarkov. I've still on the PvE grind, as I have been for the last must be coming on a year by now, and I haven't wiped one time because you don't have to. But it's great because Tarkov is popping off right now, especially today. There's been lots in the news. They have just released the first battle pass in Tarkov Arena, which is the whole spin-off multiplayer session-based thing. And there's a lot of carryover. So the things that you can unlock in the battle pass for free, it's all free, which is a surprise. You get it all for free in Arena, and you can port it over, like some clothing. There's some things like crates that you can unlock where you can get supply drops and things in Escape from Tarkov, the extraction shooter. And I think it's a really cool way to do it, because I know they had an issue with retaining the player base in Arena, so hopefully this gives people more of a reason to go over there and give it a try. They've just now made it available on Epic Game Store, which marks the first time Tarkov is available on a platform that's not owned by Battlestate Games. So that's a novel thing. That's the first time in a decade. They've taken one of the toughest traders and they've made them easier and more accessible. The Labyrinth map that came up recently, with the special event that they had. They've now seen that the player feedback for that has been so positive. They've added it into the game permanently, and they've amended that a bit. And now they might be working on a new rotation for bosses where they have like one map has a permanent 100% boss for like a week, and then it will rotate to another map and so on and so on. So that if you have like boss dependent tasks, you basically are guaranteed to be able to complete them. So it's really cool. It's really, really cool. They've done a lot recently. It's shaping up nicely, and I'm really enjoying it. But
They've
Tom's
done a
played
lot
nothing.
recently. They've
Yeah,
done a
they
lot
have.
recently, except
Well,
finish the damn game.
yeah, that 1.0, I haven't got a clue, not a clue at all. But I'm loving it. So keep throwing the updates at me. I'll take them.
I will play Tarkov again when they release 1.0. That'll be when I dive back into Tarkov for maybe like a day and then go, I remember why I no longer play this game.
No, I'll get PvE, man.
I'm not paying an extra paywall to not get shot by a hacker.
Is it still in early access still?
Yeah, of course.
10 years, baby.
Wow.
10 years of it.
Yeah, it's been I don't know when it turned into beta, but I know was it an alpha in 2016, 2017? It's coming up to 10 years. And honestly, that would be a really nice rounded time for them to say, right, now we're making it 1.0. Because
10 years.
it's a milestone, man. Hey, what did I cover today on insidergaming.com? Star Citizen now surpassing $800 million raised since 2012, and the game's still being in alpha. Like, it happens,
well, that's
man.
because 700 million of it has gone to building out cafes that look
Coffee
like
bars,
spaceships
man.
in
That's
their.
it.
Yeah,
As exclusively revealed by Tom Henderson.
Yeah, when I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast or not, but when I was going to GDC a few weeks ago, I walked past business class, and there was just like 3 Cloud Imperium developers sat in business class, and I'm like, what is going on, man? And then I walked past them and went all the way to economy. It was a long walk on that big plane.
And then you sat in economy for like 16 hours or something. My God.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Oh,
but yeah, on Cloud Imperium as well, they've just recently closed the LA studio, I believe it was. And I think there's some layoff associated with that as well. So
Gotta love layoffs. Gotta love layoffs. This year, only around 1,650 so far known jobs lost. There's a few layoffs that have happened where we don't have numbers, trying to get numbers, but 1,600 or so layoffs, positions lost across 50 plus companies. A better pace than last year. I don't think we're going to hit, like the 15, 16,000 unless we get a Microsoft or a Sony dropping a bombshell.
You've got Ubisoft, right? So
Ubisoft, they could easily come out tomorrow and say, hey, 3,000 people are gone.
Yeah. I reckon it'll be more than that. I don't know, like the situation over there is not improving. I mean, we can get into all that later, but it looks like a pretty big one is probably going to come from those guys.
I mean, their stock dropped another 6% today. It's trading under 850 in euros right now on both the Paris and London stock exchanges. Like, it's not good. We could talk more about Ubisoft in a minute because there's probably plenty we can talk about as the Ubisoft newsbreaker of the world, being Insider Gaming. But other than Tarkov, has there been anything else, or is it just still that? Have you left Verdansk?
Yeah, you know what? I only went back for like a couple of days. And it's great and all. Like, I loved it. I had a really good time. I went back with the exact same squad that I played with when Verdansk came out in 2020. Exact same group of guys. A couple of them I hadn't actually spoken to for 2 or 3 years because I stopped playing Warzone. But we got back in. I can't symbolize to the people listening. Clockwork. We knew the spots. We knew the call outs. We knew the rotations. We knew the tactics. The first game on was a dub, my guy. The first game on was a dub. When Verdansk came out the first time in 2020, it took me 113 games to get a win. So if that isn't a testament to how cracked I am at COD now. And I'm 32. Yeah. Come on, man.
I've never won a single game. Actually, no. In Battle Royals, I've won 3 games of PUBG when its first year. I've never won since. You want to know why? Because I
Damn.
suck, and I know I suck.
That's at least self-awareness is fine.
Yeah, because it got to the point where I would get so mad playing, and I'm like, "You're bad. Accept you're bad and try and enjoy it."
Yeah.
And then completely ruin the game for everybody else. And that's what I went in to do. Because imagine being the one who lost because I got him.
Yeah,
especially because
man.
I wouldn't try and shoot people.
Some weird scam tactics.
Run them over.
Yeah,
run them
man.
over. The only way you can get a kill, run them over. All right, we're not going to sit on this too long. I haven't played much of anything. Actually, I played Monster Energy Supercross 25. The review is at insidergaming.com. It's a good game if you're into Supercross, but if you're not and you just want a racer, wait until it's on sale because it's not worth $50 if you're not a fan.
I'm not a fan.
I didn't think you were. I didn't think you were a big Supercross fan. Tom, are you a Supercross fan? Do you even know what Supercross is?
Yeah, I am a fan of I ride motorbikes, man.
That doesn't mean you know what Supercross is. I know so many people that ride motorcycles. I have no idea.
Yeah, no, I know what they are. Like one of my best friends when we were kids, Jake, he had a little motocross, and we used to tear up the local playground and leave big holes in the football pitch, which the local school wasn't happy about. But yeah, I love that stuff, man. Like even anything motorsport, monster trucks, man, they're insane as well. But
my kids are obsessed with monster trucks lately, and typical, little boy behavior. So I'm currently on the. My goal is to see when Monster Jam is coming remotely close, like within 4 hours, 5 hours, and then taking my two oldest boys to monster trucks. Motocross, like dirt bikes, I always wanted one. My parents would never buy me one, and then by the time I was old enough to buy one, I bought just a street bike instead because I'm like, where am I? I live in a city. Where am I going to ride this?
Just do what the local yobs do and just put a balaclava on and go anywhere, right?
Yeah,
go through the mall. You can do anything with that.
Yeah,
when you've got a belly on, you can do anything.
That'll work. That would work great in the United States. Moving on to the news of the week. It was a busy week. A lot of things popped, but there were a few things that kind of, stood out more. And the one thing that stood out, which everybody kind of expected, we'll kick things off because there's not much to talk about, but still a little bit. Xbox confirmed that they are going to be holding their summer showcase later this year. It is going to take place on June 8th, 2025 at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. That is during the weekend, 2 days after Summer Games Fest broadcast. But this year, unlike past, not only is this going to be a digital-only broadcast, they aren't even doing, like last year they did a theater showing. They're not doing anything. It's absolutely, they're going straight up Nintendo Direct route with this year. Before we get into thoughts of what may be at the showcase, does it surprise you at all that Microsoft, a company with the gaming side of things, not really making the most money right now, is saying, let's just do straight digital?
Not for me. I think given the current economic climate, with that particular country, aka the USA, going through a little bit of a weird spot right now, I think it makes sense that they don't want to spend unnecessary funds and so on and so forth. So for me, it makes sense.
Mm.
Don't know about you, Grant, but
makes sense for me too. Yeah, I mean, I think for things like this, where all they're doing is like, how long are these things usually? The showcase, like 45 minutes or something like that, Yeah,
about Microsoft, these ones usually run an hour.
Yeah, is it really worth all the fun and games and setting up and hosting getting a venue on the books and getting people in for it and whatever? If all it's going to be is like a 45-minute showcase and that's it, you're off home again. I didn't see the point in that anyway. I mean, it makes sense. Like, you're going to like Gamescom to see opening night live. That's great. That makes sense because then Gamescom follows it.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have Microsoft. They could easily have done something in LA because that weekend everybody's going to be in LA, including us for the first time.
The first time we're coming together as a team.
But I think they like doing their presentations when they can get fans in the building.
Yeah.
That seems to be what they want to do. And with like doing it around Summer Games Fest, you're not gonna I don't know how many fans you're going to get to stay for an extra day. It was one thing when they would do it at E3, and there's like you brought up Gamescom, there's the convention around it. There's not a fan convention around it. So yeah, it makes sense. It just reminds you of a time. It just makes you still miss that time that was even just a pre-pandemic.
Yeah, they said they're not doing the fan fest. You're on about the fan fest, right? They didn't do that last year as well, but they then did it at Gamescom. So it makes me think, is the strategy now to move it? Because Gamescom's massive. I mean, you're going to see it for the first time, right, Mike, this year. Gamescom, in my opinion, is far beyond anything else that
they said
the
yeah.
US side do.
This year's going to be even bigger because they just covered a couple of days back. They said that they've doubled down on their whole partnership with like the city of Cologne, and the government's behind it, and the funding's getting like they've bolstered their funding. And like last year, something ridiculous, like 450,000 people attended, and it's spread over like 50 halls. It's just ridiculously huge.
Yeah, so I think they're probably going to do it at Gamescom this time. I don't think that they've cancelled it. Well, they have for like I said, they have for LA. Yeah, but they did this last year, but they just took it to Gamescom instead a couple of months later, which I'm assuming they're going to do anyway. And I mean, like we said, like these events, especially a theatre event, probably cost them a few million to even book the venue, right? So yeah, might not make a lot of sense in the current climate.
So we know it's going to be digital. We know there's excuse me, there's a bunch of games in development. Xbox first party studios. We know one game that's going to be after the fact, Outer Worlds 2. That's going to be its own direct after, Oblivion continuing to or Oblivion. See what's in my head? I wonder why. Obsidian continuing to do what they do best. They're just pumping out games, and Avowed came out. Now they're fully into this. Other games we expect to see. Doom: The Dark Ages will have been out by then.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not all they have. There's still Fable, which was delayed to next year. There's Gears of War E-Day, which some still believe is going to be a surprise 2025 announcement. There's Perfect Dark, if that ever exists. And then you have
State of Decay 3, man. That's all I want to hear about. State of Decay 3. Come on.
You have OD still in development. You got Ninja Gaiden 4. Like, there's so much here. Is there anything, like you brought up State of Decay 3, Grant, and go to you. Is there anything aside from that you're thinking we might see or hoping we might see? Or are you just like, yeah, they're going to show everything and then not really tell us when any of these games are coming?
Gosh darn, Michael, I'm glad you asked. So the State of Decay 3 is the one for me, because that has been like edging closer and closer. I think it was last year they put out the really nice trailer for it. But then obviously still no date, still no release window. And I love the State of Decay games, and I'm jonesing for one. So I hope that comes about. Elder Scrolls 6, I'm not anticipating we'll see anything, but if they show even just like another little teaser like they did, anything at all, even like a 30-second CGI thing with a new title or something, like the internet will explode. They're perfect opportunity to do that. I really want to see, I mean, this is because this is me, right? Fallout. I want to see a Fallout thing. What I think might be possible, some kind of Fallout on the Switch 2, right? It makes sense because of the launch window of the Switch 2, and then it aligns nicely with when, they have the Xbox Showcase. And then, like, we've never had a major Fallout game on the Switch. I think Shelter might have been on the Switch. I can't remember. But we never had a major Fallout game. And it just makes so much sense now with the power of it and whatnot. Even if they did like a legacy collection where they said, here's New Vegas and Fallout 3 Game of the Year as a double pack on the Switch 2, would be really cool. That's just one little thing. The Outer Worlds 2, like you said, I want to see some gameplay without major screen tearing, which was ridiculous. Can't believe they even showed that. That was crazy. And then it is really about time we saw some Starfield DLC, because it has been 7 months since Shattered Space came out. And what did they unveil at the last Xbox Direct in June 2024? But Shattered Space, or at least they showed the first trailer for it that really revealed what it was all about. So we're a year down the line. Todd Howard and the powers that be at Bethesda said, we're going to get a major expansion for Starfield every year. And we're currently approaching the best window for them to advertise and promote that, or at least reveal it. Because obviously we knew Shattered Space was coming way before Starfield even came out. So the fact that we haven't even got an inkling of what comes next is ridiculous. So I think we're going to get some Shattered Space DLC. at least teased at this Xbox showcase.
Tom, what about you? I mean, there are rumors, and it's nothing we've reported, but there's rumors that we're gonna see the Gears of War collection that everybody keeps talking about. Another Minecraft game being announced, Persona 4 remake, even Silk Song might appear. Still don't believe that game's real. I don't care. I don't believe that game's real at this point until I actually see it in my hand.
Yeah, there's one game that I mean, it's going to depend on, like you mentioned, is the strategy of the showcase. These past couple of years, I think Microsoft have done a very good job of announcing games that are going to be released in the very near future. Like they always do it within a 1 year time span. To a lot of, to a certain extent. But I think that it's about time that we see at least a tease or something on Halo. It's been what 4 years since the Halo Infinite came out. We know that there was some kind of Halo BR at some point, and we're not sure if that's still going on, or I can't remember if it was announced that it was canned or whatever. But I do remember there was some weirdness there of like some people said that it was cancelled or not.
Yeah, there were a lot of people saying it was canceled, and others saying no, it's actually in work, and then another leaker or whoever data miner said no, it's not a thing anymore. So it's just a bunch of
yeah. I to be honest, I definitely I want to see something on Halo. I'm inclined to think, are they going to save that though for the next generation console? There's a lot of rumors floating around now that the Xbox is going to launch 1 year prior to the next PlayStation. So when is that going to happen? Is that going to be this year? Are they going to announce it this year, or is it going to be next year? If it's going to be announced this year, then I can definitely see them saying like, "Oh, Halo is going to be a launch one title or whatever." Another game would definitely be the Wu-Tang Clan game. I reported on this 18 months ago, probably, and I just haven't heard anything since. So I don't know if that game has been canned or not. And then there's also
better not be, because Wu-Tang ain't nothing to F with.
Yeah, exactly, man. And then probably I think there was an update earlier today of like a small update on LinkedIn. Someone updated that Contraband's still in the works. So seeing something on that would be pretty cool, I guess. And then maybe something from Rare. I know we're probably going
to
yes. But I know we're going to see another Sea of Thieves update, right? Like that's a given for this.
100%.
For these events. But I want to see what's next from them. I know are they working on Everwild, I believe, at the moment. So more on that maybe. But maybe something new as well. I don't know.
I mean, on the Halo front, the one like I can't remember who said it and who claimed it, but there are talks that people expect a Halo game of some sort to be announced this year. We know they're working on multiple studios. They're moving to Unreal Engine. Like they completely started the franchise over from scratch. They made it seem when they did that announcement. When was it at this point? Last October, they announced the Halo Studios.
Yeah.
So I hope we get something, because I'm standing by it. We need something announced soon for my prediction of Halo being bigger than Call of Duty again in 5 years to actually have a chance. I need something announced in the next 12 months, if not sooner. Please, Microsoft, you don't do anything right by me. Do this one right by me. Give me a Halo game I can be proud to say I play again.
Yeah, as well with the Microsoft showcase, I also think it's all going to depend on GTA 6. I know it keeps coming up more and more. But I mean, if Gears of War is slated for this year, I think I don't know. I can't see them making that decision until GTA 6 is announced.
And we're about a month away from Take-Two's earnings. We're about a month, literally just about a month from when we should get it. So at least get an announcement.
Yeah. We said this last podcast, right? Like, it seems like the next few weeks. I mean, it's usually a day or two before the actual earnings call, right? So, but we should either, if it is going to release this year, we'll probably see a trailer a day or two before the earnings call, because they just like to brag to investors that it's the most viewed trailer in 24 hours, like like they always do. And then if it is delayed, then it's going to be one of those weird situations where we're probably either just going to see an update card, the classic update delayed card on Twitter, or they're just going to announce it in the earnings call.
And then what you're going to see, if it is delayed, is all the people coming out of the woodwork say, see, we knew it was delayed this whole time. When in reality, that decision wasn't made.
No, yeah.
Like we ran that story. I ran that story a year ago, like last March, of people saying, no, the game's guaranteed to be delayed, that there was no decision made. If anything gets announced that it's delayed, that decision came recently, like the turn of the year type of decision. It wasn't decided anytime last year that this game is not coming out in 2025. So they say. So that's that. Topic number 2. Titanfall 3. I didn't want to save this. We were going to save it. I was thinking of saving it till later, but it's too much because this was a fun, 2 hours yesterday. We're recording this on Thursday, so Wednesday. A good 2 hours of a leak came out that suggested that Titanfall 3 was, quote, almost complete. This leak from, I'm going to butcher this name if I try. Oswald Tador, close enough. But that the game was going to be built in Unreal Engine 5. It was almost complete. Single player campaign, live service with battle passes. Okay. Main mode being an extraction mode, just what everybody loves, while having a bunch of multiplayer modes like Team Deathmatch, Control, quote, some returning Apex characters, a weather system, so much in that leak. It took 2 hours for then Jeff Grubb to come out and go, nah, not real. And immediately I go, like when that came out, and even when the story came out, and reading through everything there, it was hard for me to take it anything more than at most of these are all like, these are things that they're looking to integrate in some sort of game at Respawn. My guess is Apex itself. But having that many things, there's no way some, I don't want to say unknown, but for lack of a better term, an unknown leaker is going to have 8-9 bullet points of information from a game.
Well, yeah, let me weigh in on this a little bit, because I found it pretty interesting. And first of all, I am inclined to believe Jeff Grubb over this person, but at the same time, I don't want to necessarily rule out what he said, because first of all, I believe that he is a pretty reputable Apex Legends leaker, if I'm not mistaken. Now, granted, we don't know where that information comes from. It's almost certainly like data mining, right? Which would mean that he doesn't necessarily know a lot of employees. What I think has happened, and obviously I don't want to speak on his behalf, is that maybe someone who's working on Apex Legends at Respawn has, I don't know, like told him this information, or maybe that person's just been laid off recently, or has ill intentions, or whatever it may be, and has said to this leaker, "Hey, I've got all of this information." This is where it gets a little bit like interesting in terms of like journalistic standards and stuff like that, because as journalists, as trained journalists, should I say, or journalists that have had a lot of experience. Like, I'm not a professional journalist by any means. I don't have the qualifications and all of that good stuff. But through experience, you learn that you can never rely on just one person, right? There's always the ethical practices that you need to do in terms of corroborating the information. And I think this person has probably just seen a few things that have added up, perhaps behind the scenes. Maybe he's found a couple of strings of code that has said a Titan or something like that. Like, it's very easy to get misled with this stuff, and then probably just jump the gun. And then Jeff Grubb, who is very very well respected journalist, and is pretty much 100% accurate with a lot of the stuff he says, has then just probably reached directly to someone, a known source over at Respawn, and that person has just said that it's not true, right? But then again, Jeff Grubb has probably done the practice of corroborating that information with another person, and maybe even other journalists, and so on and so forth, and that's how this whole situation came about. And we mentioned it last podcast, right? Like it seemed believable because it seems so stupid not to do it. But at the same time, it seems so unbelievable because they've already attempted it twice and it's been canned for one reason or another.
Got to focus on those live service Apex updates.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I feel like he's just been not misled, but probably jumped the gun.
Yeah, I read it, and the thing is, his post, he said he doubled down on it after somebody asked, like, why are you sure you're confident about this? And he said, quote, source is 100% sure. I read that and go, if I talked to multiple people and I was answering that question, you wouldn't say source is. You would definitely say sources are, not a singular source, because that makes me seem like he was just sent a bunch of, like you said, by one person.
Yeah. And this might not be one employee, right? This could have been a playtester from 3-4 years ago who played a vertical slice and has been misled. Maybe has a personal connection to this guy because he's a well-known leaker for Apex and so forth, and he's thinking that he's doing him a favor by telling him, "Hey, I played Titanfall." Titanfall 3, but he doesn't mention the fact that he did it 3 or 4 years ago. So this is why corroboration is very important, and is a reason why us at Inside the Gaming have managed to maintain pretty much a solid track record when it comes to reporting news. Granted, a few things don't come to fruition simply because they are leaks. They are subject to change, but you've got to do your due diligence, right? And make sure that you're corroborating any and all information. And I'm sure we could have done probably 3-4 times the amount of exclusive reports that we have already done if we didn't follow those standards.
That's always something that I I always wonder about, because there's a prominent hockey website, that an NHL website, that they just post any rumors they hear, no matter how many people tell them it or not. If one person that they trust tells them, or one person from an organization, they will run it and say, hey, here's something I'm hearing. And it does well. People like, especially on the sports side, people like, even in the games, like hearing rumors. Doesn't matter how legitimate, they just want to hear what could happen, to enjoy what could happen, because what ultimately does happen usually is more disappointing. The idea of it, and I've thought about it, because obviously, the amount of things we get sent that we just don't run because it's like we have nothing else to run on other than, hey, this one guy tells me, I don't know, Madden 30 in 5 years from now is going to be released on the Xbox 360 along with GTA 6.
Yeah.
If you got that, it's like, cool, that's a fun rumor, but how truthful is that rumor? Because so many things that credibility and ethics and destroying your reputation isn't worth it.
Yeah, people, at the end of the day, people are assholes. When I was starting, like a good one of the good stories that I have from the early days is, I mean, Grant, you'll like this one, but someone sent me a Black Ops 3 Zombies map and said that it was coming to the game. It was an official Zombies map, and they used the Zombies map editor to make a full-on Zombies map and try to pass it off as a leak.
Yeah, they put some effort in, at least.
Yeah, they put loads, and that isn't the only time that something like that's happened, right?
Yeah, that's happened all the time. Fake GTA animations and stuff. And
Yeah,
I remember a
people
guy.
are
I think a
awesome.
guy DM'd me at some point. I don't know what it was. I think it was. He was like, "Oh, I know." I don't. It was something to do with GTA. I don't know. Let's just say he was like, "I know the GTA 6 release date," and he was just something like, "Send me $250 and I'll give you the information." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, buddy."
Someone actually DM'd me the other day, maybe like a week ago, and said, "What would you say if I told you that somebody has video that can go live on actual GTA gameplay?" And I'm not replying to it because one, you're full of it. But yeah, like I was fully expecting him to do something like send
Yeah,
money.
Yeah,
that's it, man.
yeah, but yeah, just to finish off this topic, like obviously no like ill intentions towards the original reporter, the original leaker, should I say? And fingers crossed for him that he doesn't take it too much to heart and just treats it as a learning curve. I've been there, probably you guys have been there at some stage. A lot of people have been there, and it's just one of those learning curves, right? And I don't know. Who knows? Maybe after all of this, Jeff Grubby's wrong. Can you imagine? And then it gets announced at Summer Games Fest or whatever. But yeah, I'm inclined to believe that Grubby's right on this. And I trust him more than this other person. But at the same time, don't give the guy shit for it, because it's just one of those things, right? It's just a mistake.
Yeah.
We get too hung up on that in this community on mistakes.
In everything.
But yeah, true. Yeah.
Everything. You make one little mistake. I remember I made my one blunder reporting on games specifically is what was it? NHL 20. I reported that I had enough evidence to believe, at least what I thought was enough to say, hey, Sidney Crosby, one of the best NHL players of all time, is finally going to be on a cover of a video game of the NHL series. Ran the story, and like 3 days later they came out and like announced it wasn't him. And the amount of people that said, I lost every ounce of credibility I had and I'll never be trusted again, was way more than anybody had ever said of any story I'd gotten right, which was dozens prior to that, especially because that was early in my, like, I have inside information part of my career. Like, the people, if you get one thing wrong, you get attacked tenfold more than if you get one thing and 10 things right.
And they get hung up on it as well, right? So I bet you're still getting messages to this day of people calling you out for that.
That I get people calling me out for things I got right.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you had a lucky guess. I'm like, all right. I like last year with WWE, the WWE series, I have had a lot of information with. Reported on a mode returning a few years ago, last year with Brock Lesnar being removed from the game and all that stuff. And to this day, I still get people going, it was a lucky hunch. I'm like, it wasn't a hunch, but okay. Like, you just can't win with people. Unless you're Grant. Grant, everybody, you just win. No one comes after Grant, Mr. BAFTA.
Unless I go up against, like, I say something bad about Starfield. That's got me in trouble a few times. But I'm not trying to, like, claim anything's coming. I'm just saying it sucks, man.
The only thing that's coming is him. Because according to your shirt, he's coming for ya.
My guy, think about what you're saying before you say it sometimes, man. Yeah, filter, man. Jeez. Yes, but for anyone who's not using the video version on Spotify or YouTube, I have a Vampire Survivors t-shirt on with a picture of the guy who comes after you at the end. I don't know why he's the devil or something. And then it says at the top, he's coming for you.
Hold on. The guy who comes at the end, the devil or something. You realize, look at the shirt.
Yeah.
It's the Grim Reaper.
Oh, it's the Grim Reaper. I don't know, man. I was playing it the other day.
News topic number 3, and you said there would be nothing to talk about today. Also, pause real quick. I don't like how that Sonic's staring at me over your shoulder.
Is that a Funko Pop?
Man.
He's terrifying. He's such a fast into the garbage in a minute.
He's going to stare into your soul now. Now that I know he's...
That's what it feels like. This entire time, I'm like... I keep like glancing and making straight eye contact.
I can't even see that on my preview.
It's clear as day, those big eyes. Anyway, Story number 3 is a little bit to unpack. Newzo released their 2025 PC and console gaming report, which looks at all this data from hundreds of countries throughout the world for the gaming industry of 2024. We're not going to go through the whole thing because it's 90 pages long. If you want stories, they are going up regularly at insidergaming.com. Things along the lines of microtransaction revenue, console and PC player growth, and things like that.
Mm.
I want to touch on just a couple of the things that stood out the most to me. The first thing was looking at PC gaming revenue specifically, 58%. So, which equated to about $24.4 billion. 58% of all PC gaming revenue came from microtransactions. 28% came from premium game purchases, and 14% came from DLC.
Mm.
The idea, and I wrote that story, threw it up online, and the responses were not anger, but disappointment amongst everybody commenting.
Man.
I gotta
No.
say, it wasn't surprising in the slightest that
No, man.
that's what happened, or that was the case, because
Mm.
you look at the big games on PC, and the report from Newzoo says 3 games really accounted for the growth of that microtransaction revenue. Black Ops 6, Roblox, and Fortnite. None of that
Yeah.
surprises me.
That's it, man.
I mean, look at the battle pass for Black Ops 6 and all those skins. Like, people are going to dive in. Black Ops 6 was a big reason for microtransaction rates driving on console, despite the fact premium games still led the way in that. Microtransactions were still are catching up, but 60% of revenue just about microtransaction on PC. Does that surprise either of you in any sort of
No.
way?
Are they counting like CS skin, like CS cases and stuff like that? Because that's
Everything.
a skins market for CS is a $5 billion market, and then you look at all the free to play games on PC, like Valorant and League and Dota and all these games that have tens of millions of players or fans or whatever, and all of them are buying whatever drops cosmetics whenever they come out. And then you look at things that the big hitters, like I don't know, like PUBG must have some microtransactions in there. Like you say, like Call of Duty is a given, Fortnite is a given, Roblox is come on, Roblox, man. Roblox is the biggest game in the world, it absolutely does not surprise me that that's what's going on. And then you look at the whole like premium game bits cut down and whatever. Well, that's because people pirate everything. No, I'm PC gaming. No, I mean I don't. I've never pirated a single thing in my life because I give credit where credit is due, and I pay for my games. But it does not surprise me at all.
Tom, what about you?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm kind of like Grant said. I'm a bit surprised that Counter-Strike's not in the top 3 or top 5 or something, because I mean, like, if you've ever been a CS:GO player, you can easily spend $100 on cases like straight away, and just obviously the gambling nature of it all is very addictive, which obviously is a problem as well. But yeah, I'm assuming that it's not in there because of all of the third-party trading, like all of these websites where you can trade skins and so on.
Yeah, my guess is they only track like what you buy in the game.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not surprising, and it's why gaming companies are going a lot more down the microtransaction rabbit hole, and they keep evolving it, and it's just something we're going to continue on seeing. I am interested to know though, like, what is the next big microtransaction? I'm not going to say
What's the big money maker?
Because
what's
like
the next way to monetize? And
we had the cases. Now it's like battle passes, right? I mean, what could they do next?
I don't know.
NFTs.
Probably, get some monkey smoking a pipe or whatever. I don't know, the chimp smoking a pipe. I don't know. Next wave, I think there's a shot where we lose. Part of me thinks, and I don't know, the annual releases, I think a wave might happen in the next 5 to 10 years where they stop doing annuals and they just go every other year, and then they do a mid-cycle like $25 content pack
Yeah.
to update that game.
That's what I think Call of Duty is going to do.
Yeah.
It should. That's what I mean. To be fair, that's what Modern Warfare 3 was supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
And then they decided let's sell it into a full $60 bad game or $70 bad game.
I mean, on the Battle Pass thing, though, it seems like even that's evolving because so many games now that are live service, like COD does it, Fortnite does it, like Fallout 76 does it. I think Elder Scrolls Online does it. Tarkov is now doing it. There are so many free battle passes now. Like, look at Assassin's Creed Shadows. That launched with a battle pass of a sense in the game where, you know, you do little challenges and you unlock keys and you use the keys to unlock cool exclusive gear that rotates. And it's all free. There's loads of free. It's always like there's a free and then there's a premium. And that's like the go-to model right now. Even games that are coming to market, like things that are yet to be revealed and things like we were talking to the guys that did why am I blanking? Splitgate 2. I'm sorry, 1047. Don't hate me. They did that, and they're talking about like what do they want to do with their monetization model. I could see them coming out saying, "Here's your free battle pass, here's your premium battle pass," because that's what everyone's doing. As for like what comes next, I haven't got a clue. Some boffin somewhere is going to come up with some way to get more money out of people, but I don't know what it could be. Not a clue.
Yeah, another thing on the revenue side. So we see PC like premium games. Premium games were the only things to drop in both PC and console. On PC, premium game revenue dropped 2.6%. So not a big drop, but a drop. Console is where it dropped big. Console gaming revenue fell nearly 4% year over year as a total to just 42.8 billion. What a little bit amount of money. But premium games, despite being 46% of that revenue, dropped 14% year over year. What jumped 14% year over year is subscriptions on console.
Of course.
Dun, dun, dun.
That says to me, despite it not really working probably how they hoped, the Xbox Game Pass side of things is working.
Look how many. What did they say about Black Ops 6? It was the single biggest day of new signups when Black Ops 6 came out. Makes sense, man. Makes sense.
You wonder if that's what led to that 14% jump.
Yeah, I guess
Call of Duty alone.
Yeah, I don't want to get too much into the subscription like service, especially when it comes to Xbox, right, with Game Pass, because I think there's a lot of tit for tat there, like with games like we've just seen with South of Midnight. On the statistics that we can see from Steam, like I said, I don't want to get too much into this because people always jump to weird conclusions. But with like South of Midnight, right? It's done like what 200 peak concurrent players on Steam or something, or I don't know.
I think South of Midnight hit just under 1,500.
All right, okay, so yeah,
after launch, but still.
But yeah, I don't know. It gets to the point where like, is Xbox going to continue to invest in these games? That I mean, South of Midnight's probably still like $20-30 million game. Where that game in particular is, I don't think people are viewing that game and saying, "I'm going to subscribe to Game Pass because of this game." Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's
one that you get because you're already a subscriber and you're like, give this a go, you know.
Yeah, I wonder how many studios are going to see this, and granted, this without knowing the Game Pass player numbers and what it does for them. How many studios are going to see what their game did on, say, a Steam and go, is it worth doing it with Game Pass? Because now we're losing these potential sales.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those interesting discussions because I think even the media industry, we've talked about this like personally a lot. Like it's changing so rapidly, and that seems to be the case with publishers and all of their services. So it's like EA Originals, for example. I don't think they've signed a new EA Originals for a good couple of years.
They're sticking with Hazelight.
Yeah. But I mean, apart from that, right? But I don't know, man. Like, things be changing really fast, and
other than Hazelight, wasn't the last EA original
Tales of Kinzera was?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's just interesting, but like I said, I don't want to get too hung up on it because I know that
Yeah.
the Xbox tax #Xbox tax will be now placed on my head forever. But
Mhm.
I don't know. It's just an interesting discussion. But maybe we should have that for a separate.
Tom, on the subject of people placing things on your head, did you see that you confirmed the release window for Marathon? I saw on Reddit someone was talking about your comment about going to the gym this year and your wife signing you up for no, you said something about
Yeah,
grinding
yeah, yeah,
Marathon,
yeah.
and someone was like, the whole and they're like, oh, Tom Henderson confirms Marathon is coming out in 2025.
Well, that's
Like,
why I did it.
I go to
That's
the
why I did
gym.
it.
Oh, is
Yeah,
that what it was? It was veiled.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
see,
yeah.
okay,
I
yeah.
wanted to. Yeah, I know when it is.
It was too intelligent for me. I couldn't pick up on that one. See,
Yeah.
man.
I know when it is coming out this year. I know when, but I'm not. I'm just gonna let Bungie do all that. Like, I'm kind of past the stage of it's only a few days away, right? So, uh,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
let them cook. I'll
yeah.
say that I've heard very good things about it recently. In the past, I hadn't.
Mm.
But maybe it's now just because a lot more people have got their hands on it. Whether or not an extraction shooter can work in today's climate, I'm
Well,
not
yeah,
sure.
that's it. We have a lot of coverage coming this weekend around the around
Hmm.
what Bungie's going to show. We got a lot of coverage coming out the back of that.
Yeah,
Lots
so
of bits and pieces.
stay tuned.
Yeah, if you want to know more about Marathon,
I don't think I'm interested in that game whatsoever, and it's solely because of the art style.
I
Just the
like
I
it.
like it.
screenshots
I
I
like
like
alone.
it.
it.
The
The color,
screenshots
man.
alone.
Ah,
I
It's
think
too pastel.
no, I think that's been one of the issues with extraction shooters is that
mm,
they all look very
that's
similar.
it,
They're all
man.
dark and gritty, and I think something like it's like the finals, right, by Embark
Yeah.
Studio. That coming in with the art style and everything that they did made it stand out from the competition, and I think that Bungie's probably in a similar spot with Marathon. So I am very interested to see how it's gonna.
They're going to break the mold, man. They're going to
Yeah,
break the
yeah.
mold.
I'm interested to see how it's going to play out.
Tune in on Saturday
Yes.
to find out why they're trying to compete with extraction shooters in the current market and what they're going to do to actually succeed.
And
Good
if you're
stuff, man.
listening,
Good
if you're
stuff.
listening to this after Saturday, go to Insider Gaming for full coverage because we'll
Yeah.
probably have it.
Yeah, that's it.
Couple more things from this report that stood out. Player growth. PC players grew at a higher rate, slightly,
We're all getting
just under
bigger.
4%, compared to consoles, which grew at 2.3%. PC grew from 873 million to 907. Consoles players grew from 615 to 629. And this, a lot of people are like, well, see, that means PC gaming is bigger and better. Sure, PC gaming is bigger because everything, like with the Steam Deck and smaller laptops and stuff like that, you can get in on it and be considered a PC gamer. But console gaming continues to make more money by a hair. It still seems we're in this weird culture war of, the PC master race versus being a console, where if, like, apparently if you're a PC gamer, you're just better than the console gamer. And I don't know, that's the one thing, like, people have their whole fight between Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo, their console wars. But this is a war where I think is absolutely ridiculous because I don't know. It feels like most PC gamers are crossovers to where you're more than likely, if you're a PC gamer, to have a console as well,
Mm.
as opposed to if you have a console, also having, like, being a console gamer first, having a PC, if that makes sense. The
Yeah.
data doesn't show anything like how many people have both, but it I don't know. I feel like this is a number and this is a fight that's not really worth having a fight about that people seem to be having.
I mean, PC's going crazy, man. It is going crazy. Like, look at like last year, there's something like 18,500 games released on Steam alone. In 2023, Blizzard came out and said they're making more on PC than they are on console. The peak concurrent user count on Steam went from something like 33 million to 40 million in the space of a year. And then I know we're talking about Newzoo here, but Epillion, another kind of like analyst, financial statistics firm, whatever, they came out and said that in January this year, they said that PC spend has been outpacing console spend since 2011. So it's crazy. The growth of PC is nuts, man. and it's just because there's so many. I mean, look at games like Counter-Strike. We've spoken about Counter-Strike already today, but consistently, like the concurrent player count of that thing, like I feel like every 5 minutes we're writing another article being like, it's beat its new all-time high, like
Right.
over and over again. It's crazy.
Speaking of games, this one.
Oh, games.
Speaking of
That's new.
specific games, this report also touched on games and playtime. What do you think is the most popular free-to-play game?
Could be something like
Ooh.
Roblox, surely.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's got to be, man.
21% of all free-to-play gaming was done in Roblox. Fortnite was second at 17.
But watch your kids, bro. Watch your kids. Because
100%.
dangerous landscape out there. They're trying to tighten up. I think they're trying to put new features in there for like child protection and stuff, but it's a bad time right now for those guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff in Roblox.
Yeah, man. PSA to any parents listening that might not be privy to what's happening on Roblox.
I don't let
Make sure you're on top of what your kids are playing, because it's far too accessible.
Yeah, I don't let him play it. My kid's got his 3090 PC behind me, and he does not play Roblox on it.
Yeah, man.
More on the gaming side. The idea on PC, specifically with this one, and actually PC, PlayStation, and Xbox, the most time spent playing a game was on a game that is 6 or more years old.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Like,
yeah, but like, is
Fortnite
still? Is that over 6 years old? Is
Yep.
Yeah, man. 2017.
Yep. Fortnite.
Yeah,
The top 3 on PC were, or in general, the top 3 were Fortnite at 9.3% of all playtime, Minecraft at 4.7, and Roblox at 3.7.
That's it,
all
man.
over 6 years. On PC, games that were 6 years old or more, Counter-Strike led the way, followed by League of Legends.
Yeah, not surprised. Yeah, like Grant said, live service, baby. Like, you can't compete with it. And then just on the point as well, on the PC sales and so on and so forth, there's definitely a really big cultural shift that's been happening in I mean, maybe this is just because, like, I am a dad, and my son's getting to that age now, but, like, you know, like, is 9 in a few months, and I said, like, what do you want for your birthday? Do you want console? Do you want a new phone? What do you want? And he said he wants a PC. And why? Because everyone that he watches has a PC.
Yeah.
They see all of these nice RGB colors on Twitch, and you know, like Grant's shelf in the background there, RGB makes things go faster, and
I've got RGB.
RGB adds 30
everything.
frames.
Yeah, exactly.
My mouse has RGB, my keyboard has RGB, my bungee has RGB, my RAM has RGB.
Yep.
But yeah, I think there's a big like cultural shift going on now, and I think that's why Xbox is changing its strategy in the way that it is, and just getting on top of that curve, right? With the Play Anywhere stuff and all of that good stuff. So maybe that comment gets the Xbox tax people off my back.
All of that good stuff.
Yes, all of that good stuff.
The last thing from this report that I want to bring up here, again, if you want more details, it is at Insider Gaming. There is a bunch of stuff coming out from this that is worth reading. Hell, if you go to Newzoo and you want to look at the report yourself, I think they have it, but I know they sent it over to me via email. PlayStation dominated in overall playtime. It saw its growth in playtime rise 21% year over year. Xbox only rose 3%, and PC, despite getting more players, actually fell by about 1% or 2% in total playtime. So it seems, based on this, PlayStation owners have the games on their system they want to play, where Xbox, I don't want to continue the console war thing, but I kind of have to. This goes to the whole argument of, does Xbox have any games? And it seems like people are like, PlayStation owners are playing their console more than Xbox owners are playing theirs. And could it be the fact of no real big first parties or lackluster first parties last year? Like, what? I don't know how to interpret the fact that it seems just PlayStation not only is dominating in sales, but their players seem to be happier with their console and playing the games more than Xbox players are playing their games.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the ecosystem of games, right? Like last year, I can't remember off the top of my head what PlayStation had over Xbox in terms of what games they were playing, what games were released. Sorry, but yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to talk about this report this time next year, with the likes of like a big game like GTA 6 if that does release. I think that Xbox have a very very strong slate this year, and we haven't heard anything from PlayStation for the most part, apart from Death Stranding 2 this year, and Ghost of is it Ghost of Yote.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what released last year from PlayStation that everyone is hung on. Astrobot maybe, but it didn't do that
I don't
many
think
numbers.
Astrobot led to PlayStation's playtime jumping 21%, and I think there was college football, which in the States, the best selling sports game in the United States. That could have been a big reason people played on their PlayStation more.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
It's just, but this is the thing is with these numbers, these are like with the player playtime numbers. This is coming data from what they say is 37 countries, not including China or India. So it's or 37 markets specifically. So I don't know. I know actually, like, I think in terms of playtime, actually it has it. In terms of playtime, the top releases on PlayStation were Black Ops 6, college football, EAFC, NBA 2K25, and Helldivers 2.
Well, there you go then.
On Xbox, so there was crossover. The only difference was more people played Pale World on Xbox, and obviously Helldivers only being on PlayStation. And then PC was its own thing. Marvel Rivals was a top game despite releasing late in the year. Like, it was a top PC played game. So what that says to me is people just want good games, and they're going to play on their console more if they have a game that they actually want to play.
Yeah, we're at this stage now of the console generation where if you've got your console, and we know that PlayStation has sold more consoles than Xbox, if a good game comes out on just Xbox, you're just not going to buy an Xbox, right? Or you're not going to buy a PlayStation at this stage in the console generation. And with like even the Microsoft acquisition of Activision happening, with Black Ops 6 being the first one on Game Pass, so on and so forth, I think that we're not going to see the result of that acquisition and all of those benefits come until the next generation happens anyway. Because all the COD players are on PlayStation still for the most part, because they had a 10-year exclusivity deal, right?
Yeah,
in terms of DLC and stuff. Not like console launch exclusivity, but
you ever miss the days of old DLC packs with Call of Duty where they just released a map pack?
Yeah, I obviously I understand the live service model and everyone getting it to play it, but yeah, man, like Black Ops 2 days of being able to just buy was they $15 or $20?
Yeah, something like that.
For maps. Black Ops 2 did the first weapon, which was the Peacekeeper. I remember that very fondly.
Oh man, I remember the Peacekeeper.
Yeah, what a gun! It was like a SMG AR hybrid.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, cool stuff.
Like, it looked cool looking too. Was it like some nice white looking thing?
Yeah, it was very futuristic.
Moving on. Yeah. We're done with news. We're good on that. See, and Grant thought there wouldn't be anything, and we've made it this long,
fleshed out.
We do great stuff here at Insider Gaming Weekly. Before we get into rumors, a reminder: subscribe wherever you get your shows. Subscribe on YouTube.com. You can get the latest news at InsiderGaming.com. There's also the Insider Gaming forums where you can join other gamers for conversation, and you'll be able to comment on the stories that we have at Insider Gaming by signing up for the forums absolutely free. We also got some cool things in the work that we can't talk about yet, but when they are announced, it'll answer a question that everybody has been asked. Not everybody, but a lot of people have asked when it was happening to make it easier to access insider gaming.
Oh,
That's all I'm going
I
to
wonder where that was
say.
going. I didn't have a clue what you were talking about. Now I know.
Now you know.
And
Now
they
you
don't.
know. But now we don't even have the gong to enter for the Gong Lord because he's been here. Tom, we're just going to transition right to you. Anything, we had your story on finally the Rainbow Six turn-based game that popped up. We had last week the Deus Ex being pitched. That took off. People were really pissed off at the fact that no one is giving money. And we talked about like no one wants to give money, and it makes sense, but people were really pissed off that no one wants to give them money to make a new Deus Ex game. A lot more than I thought. Is there anything on your end that might get the masses up in arms this week?
There's nothing new per se that I'm working on at the moment that I can tease, unfortunately. But I'm interested to hear both of your opinions on the turn-based tactics Rainbow Six game. From my understanding, it's been in the works for a couple of years to give people who's listening to the podcast a bit of background. It's a new turn-based tactics game set in the Rainbow Six universe. It's going to be releasing on the Xbox Series S, X, PlayStation 5, and PC, possibly the Nintendo Switch 2 as well. And it's very similar to XCOM, is how it's been described to me. Yeah, you're going to have missions and stuff like that. Like one might be to go and save a hostage in a 15-story building. Another might be to I don't know, like escape from the cartel or something like that. But there's like a wide variety of missions, and they're also going to bring in some classic Rainbow Six characters that everyone knows and loves, like Ash, Glaz, is Blackbeard one? Blackbeard of Rainbow? Is
That
that
doesn't sound like one. That sounds like
no?
you made that up.
Yeah, I just got finishing off the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, so
That's it,
maybe
man. There's one called Sparrow's going to be there.
yeah, Sparrow. Yeah.
What about Dick Jones?
Man.
But yeah, some character. Yeah, I'm interested in what both of you think. Apparently, it's going to be like 30 hours in length as well.
It's not my kind of thing, man. I've never played a turn-based game that I've liked. And it's funny, as you were saying that, I was going to say, like, one of the examples of what I've tried was like XCOM years ago. And then you say it's going to be like XCOM. And straight away, I'm like, well, that's not my kind of game. Because it's a really silly thing, right? It's two things. One, because I'm terrible at them and I don't have the strategic mindset to like plan ahead. So I tried to play the old Fallout games, which are obviously they're all turn-based. And I couldn't do it. I just don't have the foresight, right? It's always a live action thing for me, like a real-time thing for me. And I just hate this is gonna sound really silly. I might piss off some people that like their strategy stuff, turn-based strategy stuff. Like I hate the inauthenticity of it. Like I'm going to stand here. I'm going to do an attack. I'll run forward. Do the attack. Come and stand back and just go like, and what? And then they attack me. And then they go back to where they're standing. And then I go forward and I make my attack. I hate that. That style of gameplay to me, it just grates on my soul. So inauthentic. I hate it so much.
Well,
you know.
Yeah, I think I've got a distinct feeling that Mike wants to weigh in as well here, so we'll give him.
Yeah, Mike can weigh in.
Your opinion is wrong. One, so
man,
turn-based are like right up my alley. Great. Am I interested in this? No, because I don't care enough about the Rainbow Six lore. I just don't feel like it might do well. I think it would do well with that fan base, but I don't think that's going to be something that resonates. Like XCOM, if it's like XCOM, that means to me the gameplay should be rock solid. But see, I like the opposite of I am too much of a peanut brain to quick react to things. The idea of me playing them out and planning 2, 3, 4 steps ahead is just what I like to do. It's why I love like the Heroes of Might and Magic games, which they dropped the trailer at the AAA initiative of Heroes of Might and Magic Golden Era, and it just got me even more excited for that when that launches in early access. But turn-based, like BattleTech, XCOM 2, even turn-based sports games, Frozen Cortex, Blood Bowl, those types of games I'm really into. You brought up the authenticity part, and that's what bothered me. Show me an authentic game, and that'll be the first one you ever see.
What? Show you an authentic game? What does that mean?
Show me something authentic, and it'll be the first one in a game you ever see.
I don't get it. There's loads
You literally
of authentic games.
No, they're not.
What? How
You can't have a game that's too authentic and real because then it becomes boring. It is not a game at that point. It's
Tom, he's lost me, man. He's lost me, man.
No.
Seem to have heard of simulators and mill sims and shit like that.
Even simulators like Farming Simulator, there's still enough goofiness to take away from that authenticity. Every game lacks authenticity.
Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight
You
Sim.
can still take that plane and crash it straight into the ground.
Well, you can do that in real life as well.
I can't.
I mean,
I can.
It depends what you're defining as authenticity.
I can go in a jet and fly a plane in Flight Simulator right into my house if I wanted to. Where's the authenticity in that? That's not real.
That's a thing that you can do, though. That can be done. I don't advocate for it, but I mean, I'm getting close to it right now.
I think there's 100% chance that I couldn't do it.
Yeah, but well, not 100. Nothing's ever 100%.
Oh no, there's a 100% chance.
No, there's like a 0.000.
No,
but you get what I'm hoping you can understand my perspective, because that'd be really cool. Like,
you chose to say that the wrong time.
The thought of someone standing there and saying, "I'm going to stand here and take whatever you throw at me, and just not react for like a few seconds because it's not my turn, and then you're going to do the same back to me." Come on, man. That's inauthenticity at its finest. Whereas real-time combat, like we talked about Escape from Tarkov earlier on, one of the most authentic things going. You look like the bullet physics, the ballistics, the healing mechanics, the weight mechanics, the what's the word, inertia with the movement and things like that's authenticity, because it's real and it's in the moment, and it's based completely on real world scenarios and situations, and you can't really do bizarre things in that game. It's authentic as hell, and it's the biggest extraction shooter in the world.
The hackers in that game would beg to differ that you can't do bizarre things.
I play PvE. I don't see any of that anymore.
Well, that's because you're a coward.
That's a world away.
Cowardly.
What were you saying about playing it and then playing one game and coming off?
Well, that's because it's a bad game.
That's your opinion.
And my opinion is correct.
Tom, mediate.
This is what happens when AP's not here.
Yeah, I'm just listening to the show at this point.
No, did you not? Yeah, the authenticity. I'm not going to sit on it. It's going to be 20 minutes of me just going to go back to it. So no. But Rainbow Six, the idea of it, I just don't think. I might be wrong. I might get yelled at in the comments. I don't think there's enough there on a lore side of things to justify a tactical turn-based game.
Rainbow Six is like 30 years of history.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's good enough. Man, I'm in my mid-30s. That doesn't mean my backstory is good enough to write a whole book.
But you could. That's an authentic possibility.
But it doesn't mean it's good enough. That's my point.
Yeah.
Is the lore of Rainbow Six
those guys it is
strong enough that it's worth?
Look at Siege X, right? When they announced Siege X up on the stage and they had the guy stand up there. I can't remember the guy's name. I apologize, But this guy was like, he was tearing. He was emotional. The stuff they were getting to reveal and the work they put in. And the crowd sees certain characters on the screen. Whoa, and they're loving it because they just know those characters and they connect with them over a series of years. And like it's like being unaware of it. Like people might not know about like Assassin's Creed. They, funny enough, I interviewed, now his voice actor at the BAFTAs, and she said that before she got the job to play now in Assassin's Creed, she'd never even heard of the franchise. That doesn't mean there's not like loads of lore there that the fans of the franchise absolutely pour over. Just an awareness thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's not there. I just wonder if it's enough.
Yeah. I think so.
for this to actually be a success. Plus, I also
Yeah, well,
wonder
well,
how turn-based tactical games do in the grand scope of
Mm.
saving a company.
yeah, well, this is what I wanted to mention as well, because I think the community has given Ubisoft a lot of and understandably a lot of bad grief, because they like to follow trends and just they've been doing that for so many years now.
Mm.
And then I look at something like this and I'm like, there is still stuff there. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, granted, this isn't going to change your end Ubisoft, but this is potentially one of those small little stepping stones that can lead to a brighter future. And I see other projects in the work. I see other projects in the work like Altera that's being worked on. There's some cool stuff that they're doing with Assassin's Creed, and they with Ubisoft going off with this subsidiary with Tencent. I think that stop it, Grant. Oh man, yeah. For people listening without the video version, there was footsteps, and then Grant was looking around. It put me off. But yeah, I think that a lot of this stuff is like really, it's just interesting and cool to see, and I hope that it's the turning point of
Mm.
Ubisoft not necessarily becoming the trend setters as they once were, but there's like something's turning there, right? Like the cogs turning a little bit. It's still a little bit rusty. It needs a bit of WD-40 on there, but it's turning a little bit, and hopefully the end result is that we get to see these teams doing uh, a lot more creative stuff rather than being told to follow a certain genre or whatever it may be.
Mm.
So I think it's exciting. Like I said, I don't think it's going to turn around Ubisoft, but it's just one of those cool little stepping stones, in my opinion, that could lead to a good company again, I guess.
I hope
Yeah,
so. I
man.
hope things turn around because their stock needs it.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
I
these,
think there's a
yeah.
lot of pivoting like that. I know we're at like 6 hours of this podcast now. There's a lot of pivoting like that. Look at Fortnite doing Fortnite Ballistic, and look at PUBG doing PUBG. What was it called? Something. Can't remember what it was, but they did like a top-down,
Yeah.
close-range tactical shoot. There's a bit of that coming out now. I think a studio's just thinking like, buck the whole follow the trend thing, and let's just start making stuff because we enjoy making something different. You know?
Yeah, I think that's what I saw at GDC as well. Is like the times of publishers wanting to give 50, 100, 150 million for these games are kind of not gone, but they're definitely fading out, and we're seeing that, especially with like Blueprints, right? That's come out this week. Seeing the universal acclaim that game's got, and we know that game's not cost them 50 million, right? But just seeing like all of this, like indies right now, and double A games, like man, like it's leading to a very exciting time, in my opinion.
Mm.
And yeah, it's just interesting. So
Yeah,
like the shift and the change is just
yeah.
really interesting to see.
Look at the
I'm
last
more
year, man.
interested.
Pal World, Balatro, Schedule One. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
Schedule One is hilarious. I've yet to play it, but I watch it every day. I watch some video that just makes me die laughing. And the only reason I haven't played it yet is because I don't think I can recreate a moment that makes me laugh as much as the stuff I've already seen. Plus, I
Yeah.
don't want to spend $20.
Wow.
there's a demo.
Yeah, and that's from one developer, so it just
Yeah.
proves that you can create a lot of fun with probably little to no budget and be tremendously successful. I think that's probably the next step is a
Yeah.
lot of publishers, instead of doing, hey, 50 million for one game with a huge amount of risk, let's divide that by 50 or 100 and give 500 to a million to 50 to 100 other developers, and hope that one of them becomes the next Schedule One.
I mean,
Mm.
I look at a studio like Strange Scaffold. They put out games like it's going out of style. so many games per year, but they all are smallish budget games.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have a game that comes out like El Paso Elsewhere that does well enough, gets picked up for a movie. Their studio does games well enough that now they have a tactical turn-based tactical Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game coming out this summer, where it is telling a brand new story of what happens after Master Splinter and Shredder both die. Like, you find these successes from taking these small risks. I don't want to call them small risks, but taking these chances on smaller titles that could lead to something blowing up for you. I don't know. I think especially with the idea of these 70, 80, 90, $100 games, which we're staring down the barrel of the gun for, this might be the route we see way more often than not moving forward.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And with that, it's time to wrap up because we've been here long enough. I could tell Grant's falling asleep.
Not yet.
While Sonic is staring dead into my eyes.
I'm surprised you didn't talk about old Helgast over here. This guy with his glowing orange eyes, man. That's
because that doesn't bother me enough, because it's just I'm making eye contact with Sonic because it's like he's looking in my soul.
Very quickly before we do wrap up, speaking of, you'll like this segue. Speaking of masks, how did you enjoy the BAFTAs, Grant?
Oh man, loved it every second.
No, the entire segment has to just be the best.
Oh, I can't, man. My arm will get tired. It was fantastic, man. What an experience. Like, I was so lucky to be there as well. Because the number of publications that they have on the red carpet is so few. I think maybe 10, 12 maximum. And obviously there's a lot of people going to be jostling for that space. So to get a spot on there in the first place was, the luck was crazy. But I went there with a wish list. The attendance was insane. We're talking everyone from CEOs on down, development team, actors, designers, developers, everyone from the whole industry, far and wide. So I had a big mix of people I wanted to speak to, and in the end, I managed to catch up with 4 of the biggest names for me, at least right now, if not everyone else. I spoke to Masumi, who plays Naue in Assassin's Creed Shadows, who I said, Tom Mackay, who plays Henry Skalitz in Kingdom Come, Abu Bakr Salim, who plays he played Basim years ago in Assassin's Creed Origins, one of my favorite games ever. Lead Surgeon Studios, founded that, is working now with Pocket Pair on a new game that they announced at the start of the year. And Neil Newbon, Baldur's Gate 3, that's where I think most people would know him from, but he, at the start of the year, announced the Pixel Pack that he's leading with a bunch of all kinds of actors from across the industry to raise awareness of the fact that they are legitimate actors and they deserve to be treated as such, and to kind of push back against the growth of AI voice replication. So talking to those 4, phenomenal experience. It was great. I've spoken to a couple of them before as well, but it doesn't quite equate just meeting them and putting, shaking their hand and having this great conversation. So the whole thing was great, fantastic. And we've basically, we've got some really good coverage at the back of it, all of which is available inside of gaming. If you guys want to see the video interviews, it's just Inside of Gaming on YouTube, and they are, I'd like to think they're great. We asked some very thought-provoking questions to basically everyone there, and it was great. Really, really good, and I can't wait to go again.
I mean, the people watching these videos, the video interviews, seem to are paying a ton of compliments to it. So
absolutely.
I love the fact that you were there. That made me so happy to see. Just like you said, it's a limited group of outlets, and you happen to get Insider Gaming was one of them. Like,
that's it. Yeah.
It was so like, to me, like when I went to Iceland a couple years ago, I got to sit down with CCP Games, the developers of EVE Online, and do like a full. I got to sit down with the founder of Unity, the creator of the Unity engine, like, and then I find out, hey, you're the only US based reporter that we invited.
That's it. Yeah.
Like, you see these things, and they're like, they kind of are fulfilling in that way of like, it makes you realize, no, you're doing well at your job. And the interviews came out great. The stories you're getting out of them came out great.
That's it. And it just as a future note, like anyone staying connected to this stuff, Mike's going to PAX, we're going to Summer Games Fest, we're going to Gamescom. If you like your esports, we're going to Call of Duty Champs in Toronto in June as well. And at all of these events, we're going to have multiple people there. We've got camera guys coming as well. We're going to be doing live stuff from anything, all kinds of things, like from the content side of things. Inside the Game is blowing up this year, so you guys got to stay connected, get those subs in.
Hey, one of the episodes of IG Weekly, we are going to be all of us in LA at the same time. We're going to record an on-location episode. I got the equipment ready to go.
That's it.
Wait. How do I come into this? Do I just stand behind a screen or something?
Bally.
Oh, Bally.
Come on,
Yeah, all right, okay.
man.
No, you're going to be yelling off screen.
Baklavas all the way.
Yeah, Call of Duty's coming this year. Real leak right there. Run it, Reddit. Call of Duty. Yeah. I have multiple sources telling me we will get a Call of Duty game this year. I don't know if you guys can believe that or not.
No, sounds too far-fetched, man. Jeff Grubb's going to deny that one.
On that note, you can find us at Insider Gaming on all the social medias. Visit our website, insider-gaming.com. Grant, where can the people find you?
On the red carpet. Next year. I'm Nukov everywhere. NUKOV with an underscore. Nukov on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, LinkedIn. No, not LinkedIn. I'm not there. I'm not that one on LinkedIn. Everywhere. Just type in Nukov. You'll find me. I'm there. I'm hanging out.
Look for the snowmobile for Tom Henderson.
Thank you. I knew you was going to ask, and I had that answer ready and raring to go. But yeah, search Tom Henderson, find the red snowmobile. If you can, I've done a bad job.
Don't worry. Everybody knows Tom Henderson. People aren't as afraid of you anymore, hopefully, now that people have actually met you.
Yeah, people are starstruck by the handsome... I'm joking.
The handsome face mask.
This is what I find crazy. I know we're rapping and we've been rapping for about 6 hours right now. This is what I find bizarre. So like Mike's coming to LA in June. He doesn't have the foggiest idea of what Tom Henderson looks like. That's how secretive. That's how this guy's kept up his game, man.
Yeah, I reckon.
Grant and I are the first two employees.
Yeah, man.
And one of them doesn't know what the boss looks like. You like Dr. Claw.
I met him at Gamescom. He walked out of the hotel. I was sitting down and I looked. Just caught the eye of this guy. And I was just like, yeah, that's Tom. Yeah. we just knew each other straight away, you know? Crazy.
It is weird though how that works, isn't it? Like, I bet you when I see Mike for the first, you'll probably know just from the aura that I get.
Well, he opens.
I'm joking.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Tom, all you've got to do is say something. You know?
Yeah,
like,
true.
The
accent, man.
I have a pretty recognizable face. What I might do, I was thinking about this because I look completely different when I shave. I kind of want to shave like right before I leave to go to the airport.
So just deliberately disguise yourself from us.
I'll recognize you.
Oh, fuck! We'll hear you coming.
I'm good at faces, but bad at names.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Anyways,
say on that note, Mike. Say on that note, and just wrap us up, man.
I don't have AP to send us off, so this is really hard.
Do you want me to do it?
No, I'm just gonna say goodbye.
I want to see if I can remember it.
All right, let's see.
Yeah,
okay.
Right, go.
Wait. No,
wait. You need to do Albert's very sexy voice.
Oh, I can't, man. Maybe I'll do his Mike Tyson version. No, I can't. Let me do this. Let me have the floor.
Okay, go.
From Tom, from Mike, and from me, I'm your host with the most, G to the TH, Grant Taylor Hill, and we will see you on the inside.